What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 with me, the Virtual Mechanic. And today's project, this is our competition entry Mazda RX-4, and this is a little bit wild. Just to give you a quick sneak peek, that is a V10 Viper engine under the hood of this beast. I've taken all of the bonus parts off and a lot of the customization details, so I don't give too much away to this one, but it is a V10 Viper engine under the hood there. I mean, you would have known all of this anyway by the time we jump into here, because it's the V10 Viper Restomod for our Mazda RX-4 today. That's what we've gone with this one. You can get it from the auction house, the barn, or the junkyard, and we obviously got ours from the auction house, and it's in pretty bad condition. We've definitely seen worse, but it's still pretty bad. Did we get a good deal for it? No. Of course we didn't. 29,584 is what I paid, and I could sell it at the moment for 27,013, losing out on 2,571. As I said, the engine in there is the V10 overhead valve. There is two of these Viper engines. The one that comes in the Viper has an airbox connected here, which is the Viper one, and then you just got the V10 overhead valve, which doesn't have the airbox. And that's the one we've gone for today. It's got 507 factory horsepower. We will obviously be putting on all of the tuning and performance parts we can to that beautiful Viper engine, trying to make this one as wild, crazy, and as insane as we possibly can. By the time you see this video, it will be too late to enter the competition, but it won't be too late to go and vote for your favourite. So go and head over to the official Red Dot Games Discord server, linked in the description below and on screen right now, and go and vote for your favourite. If it's mine, I'll be everly grateful, so thank you very much. But if not, it's still awesome nonetheless. I enjoy the competitions, whether I win or lose. I just like designing custom builds where I have to put maximum effort into this one. This does have a livery on it today, which you can sort of already see. We've got that roof line blending in with the body line on there. It does go up to the door, but not into the fenders. And the reason I couldn't get it into the fenders is because I do believe there is something wrong with the template files for this one here. I know Barker had some problem with the doors. I've had problems with the fenders, and I believe it's because there isn't a tuning parts section for all of the parts on this one. But it is what it is. Hopefully we're still going to make this beast of a car look awesome nonetheless. So let's get this beautiful car started. Let's get it into the car wash. Let's get this RX-4 all cleaned up. Let's get this beautiful RX-4 all cleaned up then. See what colours we've got underneath this dust and grime today. What colour are you currently? And I doubt you're going to stay that colour regardless. It is a silver. Does actually look quite nice in that silver. I'm not going to lie, you know, ignoring all of the rust patterns on there and this weird texture you get on this. I believe this is actually from the livery, because I did see this a lot when I was designing the livery. So I'm not sure what fully causes it, but I'm hoping we can fix it nonetheless. Let's get the interior done. Get this beast back on the engine. Back on the engine, back on the stand. Then we'll get that V10 engine ripped out of there, get everything stripped down, and get ready to get this beautiful beast all back together, looking fresh and custom. She's clean and in the air. We need to check to see if that V10's got an oil pan. It does indeed, so we need to get all of that drained out. Nice, easy place to start. Out you come. Oh, you filthy oil. That is filthy. Very dark looking as well. Not the best, but let's get in underneath and see what we've got going on. Now, I'm not going to go in and show you parts we are missing because I don't want to give too much away for this build. I want to keep some revealed for keep some hidden, so I can reveal it a little bit later on, as well as my choice of English. Now, obviously, we can see there is a drive shaft missing, so we'll make sure we grab that one a little bit later on. But the starter is here, nice and easy. And so is our wonderful gearbox. So out you come there. Nice and simple. There we go. Now, I think the front suspension is all there. We got the inner and outer tie rods. We got the suspension. We've got the sway bar front end links and all of the bushings. So it looks like the front suspension is all there. And I do believe we have everything from the engine bay, just apart from some hidden details, which we'll see later on. Down at the back, we are definitely missing a few bits in here. I almost pressed the button there. We're missing the top arm. We're missing the bottom arm, all the suspension from that side. Some bushings on there, another bushing up there, and I think we might have everything else. But yes, we are missing a few bits from the back, so we'll have to sort that one out a little bit later on. But for the time being, let's get this beast back down on the ground and get that V10 Viper engine ripped out of there, ready to be stripped down, tidied up, and go back together with a lot more power than it came out with. So out you come, nice and easy. That is what we like. Let's get the crane put away, and then let's jump in here just to see what we've got. As I said, I'm not going to show you what's missing because the bits that we are missing are the bits I want to keep hidden just for a little bit longer. We got our brake servo up here, coolant reservoir up here, battery down there with an ECU Type B in there, wishy-washy reservoir, the fuse box cover. We've got no power steering for this bad boy on this one today, but we do have the Summit aftermarket radiator on there, looking very, very nice with the fuel tank and fuel pump down the back. But now let's drain some liquids. Right-click, additional tools, drain tool, and then just click and hold on the container, and it will drain all the liquids out. We're going to get the rest of this engine bay all stripped, then move on to the suspension, and then we'll come back and we'll sort out all of this bodywork with a nice collection of bonus parts too. Hopefully get this one looking absolutely incredible. That's everything for the engine and suspension repaired, replaced, or upgraded, ready to go back on. But before we get any of that in, we need to get this body stripped down. So let's just start tearing it off. Window and rear clamshell off there. Obviously, we want these tail lights out and that bumper off with the license plate as well. No rear window in there. Car part 5 is these lip parts here, along with the fuel door, or whatever you want to call that part. Round we go. No door, no window. Or we do have car part 2, which is the flooring. Out you come in there. We do also, the dashboard is one as well, so we'll be putting that one back in a little bit later on. Apparently, oh, I can't take the fender off because you have to take the front bumper off first. I do remember now. Front bumper, then the fenders. Then you, oh, showed you a bit you weren't supposed to see there. Then the headlights, out you come. Then we've got that big old front end piece and off with the hood. And that, I think, should be everything. I'm not 100% on that. I've probably missed something, but let's get in and have a quick check. Nothing showing up on there. I was on the wrong screen, but actually it turned out to be the right screen. So nothing showing up on there. So that should be at 1%. All sorted down to the bare frame, which is at 34%. And we bought the car for just under 30,000. So I'm going to say 1750. 1150. Oh, I forgot to press OK. 1150. There we go. Let's get in, though, and have a check for the RX-4's full body shop. 9 pages of parts available for this one. Obviously, you've got multiple different front end designs there with the rounded headlights. And then this one here, which I believe fits better with the squared headlights. That is the piece we're going for. 2 different front end pieces. Hold on. Wait a minute. I've confused myself now. Oh, no, we want this piece. We'll have to figure this one out as we go. I can't remember. I did build this a little while ago. But anyway, that's definitely car part 1 that we're going for on there. Then we got some interior. I think we're just keeping that with the stock black on there. Looking quite good. Interior panels. Oh, no, that's fine. We want the stock interior. That's fine. No exhaust going on there because we've done something else. So all of these parts here are missed. The dashboard, I think we're going to go steel black again, but you've got lots of other colour options on there. Then we got the fuel flap plus the bit for the extra part of the spoiler. So I'm just going to make sure I pick the right one of them back on. For the front bumpers, I think we have gone for this one here, the J1, which is a squared front bumper, but it fits in with the rest. It's the one that fits perfectly with this front end G, in my opinion. So that's what we'll be using for them today. For the doors, as I said earlier about the livery, we've just gone for the stock doors because they match all the stock interior and things like that. For the fenders, I'm not sure which one it is of these. Might be that one, but we're definitely using one of these with the fender flares. None of the ones with the bolts in. One of the molded ones. I think it's either this one or this one. I don't know what the difference is between them, but it is definitely one of them too. We'll make sure we get all of that back correctly in the way it should be. Only one specific hood goes with the front end I've gone for today, so we have to make sure we put that one on correct, whichever one it is. Headlight options, I think we're going for this one here, although we're definitely going to change the colour. It won't stay looking like that. And the design as well. It definitely won't stay looking like that. We're not using any of the mirrors, and we're using the Infinity tail lights. For the rear bumper, there is an option. I can't remember which one it is, but we're definitely going for it. Clamshell to match in with the fenders up there. We got the rear window B with the spoiler is the one we're going for today. Then obviously back to headlights, mirrors and tail lights. And then one of the spoilers, whichever one perfectly fits the rest of the design on this car. For example, if I just pop one of these broken pits back on, car part 5, we want to make sure the spoiler matches in with that piece there. So there we go. Let's get you back off. I'm going to go and repair what I can repair. Buy what I need to buy, get all of the interior ready to go back in. It is a bit of a custom design interior on this one today. And then we'll start getting this back together along with the selection of the bonus parts before we get this beast into the paint shop so you can finally see what I've done with the livery and what we're going to pick for the colours for this beast today. Let's get this bodywork and the bonus parts all back together and get this ready to have all its stuff thrown back into it. But before we do that, we need to get it all back together and then into the paint shop. Let's get started with all of the bodywork. On with the front fender on there. The front end, obviously that front end G looking fantastic. The fenders, by the way, or the fenders J for this build with the wide body flares on there, but still a normal side skirt, side fender, whatever you want to call it. I still believe this is part of the livery issue, but I'm sure we'll be able to fix that one a little bit later on. Hood C is the one that fits with this build, as you get this front end piece on there. You don't get that with the other two hood options. Left headlight, as you can see, I did just go for these ones here. They are going to look totally different later on. Trust me, we'll get some of the parts on now. Car part 1, in you go on that front grille, looking beautiful. Love that front end. I think it looks fantastic, but there is still more to come to that front end yet. So let's crack on around. Windshield on you go. In fact, before we put the doors in, let's get this interior in. The car part 2 is obviously the floor, and I said we were going for that stock black. And then car part 4 is the dashboard, and again, sticking with that stock black. I think that looks absolutely fantastic in there with all of the colouring on that centre console. But anyway, on with the door. No mirror at the moment. Window and a window for there. Let's get the other side done. On with the door, window, and window. On you go, on you go. Rear window, as I said, with that spoiler on there, looking fantastic. Trunk, hopefully it matching in with them fenders, as long as I bought all the parts right. So let's get the trunk 2 fuel flaps on there. And you can see that is all sort of lining up. Yeah, that said for trunk 2, didn't it? I just want to go back into the shop and I want to check that. In we go. Where are we? RX-4. And it said for trunk. So that one says it's for trunk 2. But I don't think trunk 2 is the one I was using. I'm not sure. Where are we? I've lost all the trunk pieces now. Was it trunk B? Is that the one we're using? Maybe it is. I'm not sure. Let's just take it back off. Let's find out the simplest way. It is trunk B. I didn't think it was, but there we go. I thought it was much further down the list. As you can see, it paints the fuel door in the livery a different colour at the moment, but obviously when we get it all painted a little bit later on, that should be different. Rear clamshell F is what we've gone for on there, giving us the fender flares and this sort of aluminium finish on the rear plate there. Not that we'll be keeping that one. That will change later on. And a lovely chrome bumper. And then beautiful infinity taillights. I absolutely love these taillights. I want a set of these in real life. And just to get us finished on the bodywork, a blank license plate on there. And I think that should be everything for the official bodywork. But let's get in and sort our interior out. As I did say before, very custom interior. The rear bench is the BMW 2002 turbo bench. You'll see why later with a bit of colour. The front seats, as it comes in a stock, is the Mustang seat. They do fit in well, nicely sort of sized and everything like that. So that's the ones you guys will be able to use if you get access to this config and livery, which you can get by becoming a member of the VM Garage Club, linked down below. Join now for £2.99 a month. You will get access to this beautiful config and livery. Not that you've seen it finished yet, but I'm hoping you're going to enjoy it. And come over to our Discord where we have a nice little chat, and that's where I post all the configs and liveries, and I do help you with where to place them in your game. So if you want that one, if you want this one, should I say, or some of the other competition builds we've done, click that join button below for £2.99 a month and become a member of the VM Garage Club. But now let's get back to this beautiful car and on with the rest of the interior. Obviously, I'm not using that interior. I'm using some of my Multiply MSPM Recaro seat styles. In you go, and in you go just there. And obviously for our right-hand drive beast, just going for steering wheel 7 because it fits it really well. And plus, it's got a very narrow stalk on there. So getting something else to fit was a little bit of a challenge. But there we go. That should be it for all the bodywork and interior. It is indeed. But now we've got our massive list of bonus parts. So let's get started with these. I'm going to start with this one out here, which is our wing mirrors. You can see all of the parts we got in there. Oh, wing mirror left, on you go. And over to this side for wing mirror right, wherever you are. There you go. All looking good in there. If we open up this hood and crack on with some of the other bits, which are all pretty much a tidying up of this engine bay, apart from this piece here, which is our strut bar. Let's just get you on there, looking good. Now I've got to try and remember how everything's placed along here. Probably going to get some of this wrong, but a lot of it is just plate wide. Plate wide in there, and then you should be the curve. You are the curve. And then you should be plate wide and plate wide, just angled back up there, looking very nice. Then down to here, I believe this one is plate wide. It should be a little plate in the corner. Bottom one is a big plate across the bottom. And then that middle one there is the curve plate. And then the rest of these should just be 4 square plates or plate wides across the top, just filling in all of the gaps there for that side, looking beautiful. I wanted to keep it sort of smoothed out, looking good, but keep the original design of the engine bay in there, just, you know, paying homage to the original designers. But let's crack on and get the rest of this all in. Hopefully I can get it all in the correct place and looking good, and it's going to look awesome, hopefully, once it's all painted a little bit later. So you should be the curve, and then the rest of these should all be some square plates. We will get in and do the little bits at the front in a second. You have already seen the part that I've got on me, or part I had on me. But that's all of the engine bay bonus parts all sorted. Now we're moving on to the front. Now I've got to make sure I get these right. I think all of the corner ones should be a plate wide, and then the center one should be that air filter. If I can get it on, hopefully that's all going to work. Yes, it is, looking awesome. Now, obviously, it's a headlight behind it, so I just needed to blank it off, which is what these square plates are for, but still keeping with, like, the shape design on there, looking fantastic. And then we've obviously got that other air filter on the front. And there we go. That is all the bonus parts we've got for this one already in and ready for you to see. So let's get this beautiful beast into the paint shop. Let's get it painted, get my livery applied, and see what we're going to do with the rest of all of these parts. Hopefully we can finish this one off and make it look incredible. Here's the colour we're going for the beautiful RX-4 Restomod today. This sort of sunburnt orange is what I'm calling this one. It's a very deep orange in a matte finish, and I think it looks fantastic. It's 30 on the hue, 100 on the saturation, and 65 on the brightness. Looking beautiful. I absolutely love that. I think it looks fantastic colour. But let's crack on, though. If we just move across one, the only livery available is the RX-4 VM Restomod. And as you can see, if I just take this off, you can see that that is part of the livery. The marking on the front the front fender there. Not sure what causes it, but we will be able to fix it. I'm just going to take this fender off, repaint it orange without the livery. It'll be fine. But that's the reason why the livery doesn't carry on into the front, which is what I wanted it to do, go all the way back like that. But I couldn't get it across this fender because it just wouldn't work. But there we go. This is what we've gone for, this beautiful orange. And there is my little custom livery. As you can see, V10 Viper on there. And it just stretches back around the car, curving up around there, and then curving back off of there down towards the back end. Just with a cheeky little white border, with the only gap being around the V10 as we go into there. Just a tiny little gap. Matching on the other side, obviously just the other way around. Looking fantastic. For the screws and bolts, I've gone for an orange, but obviously because it won't be matte, I've made it a bit brighter, so hopefully it will match in. So let's just get that painted and applied all on there. Hopefully looking good. We are going to change some bits, don't you worry. This top spoiler here, that's going to go in a black, along with this rear spoiler along here. And obviously that piece there will go black as well to match in with the fender. This is going to go black. This is going to go black. The chrome trim around the lights is going to go black on there. And if we come up to the front, we're going to make the mirrors both black on there as well. This front end piece, the car part one, is going to get a bit of a darker finish black on it. Still keep that chrome badge on there. The lights, we're going to get rid of this chrome around the edge here. And all of these plates are going to go in the same colour to match in with that. Front bumper's also going to go black as well to blend it all in. We're definitely going to do something with those seats. I'm not decided yet. When we open this engine bay, you can already see it's looking fantastic in here. The sway bar is going to, or strut bar, whatever you want to call it, is going to change colour. Obviously, when the shocks go in a little bit later on, it will look better. But I love how clean and tidy that engine bay looks. I think it looks fantastic. And I do believe that's part of my livery stuck on the underside of the hood. Yep, there we go. This is why some of the livery doesn't work. Some of it isn't blended in properly. I'm going to take that hood off and paint it so it doesn't get that factory livery stuff on it on the underside. It is a bit weird. So there we go. We need to take off this front fender to get it painted and a lot of other parts as well. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get all of them painted. We'll take a quick look at this one back here with it all freshly coloured and how it's going to look. And then we get it back on the lifter and start reassembly. Here she is then, all finished, at least with the livery and colouring of the body options. You can see around the back, lots of that steel black going on there, blending it all in nicely, including on that upper spoiler as well. Looking very, very good. And even around the infinity tail lights, just to take some of that chrome away down the back there. And this part does blend in with here. This part is in a matte black. This is in a steel black, even though they are the same piece. Looking fantastic. If we carry on around, obviously the mirrors in the black there, completely blacked out front end, just with a little splash of chrome. Even the black plating on these is all in steel black, so it should all be virtually the same. You can see it when we go like that. It is all sort of got the same finish on it. Looking fantastic in there. A little bit of steel black on that front end as well all looking good. And if we just open up the hood, just a tiny little bit of steel black on that part there. This is going to look fantastic when it is completed. If we open it up, I got some leather and orange on these seats, keeping a little bit of white on there as well, because we do have a little bit of white on the livery stripe around the outside. I think that's looking nice. And we also put a bit of black center on the steering wheel, just take some of that chrome out of there as well, with the rest of it sort of matching in with the floor. So we left it as it is because it looks quite good. But there we go. What do you think? I think this looks absolutely fantastic. Let's just go into this mode so it looks a little cleaner. That little simplistic livery, but it just sort of finishes it off, in my opinion. I even love the fact the way it goes down the roof line, sort of like a ski jump, and then carries on down the end. I think it's beautiful, but more importantly, what do you think? Do let me know in the comments below, as well as giving it a score out of 10, so we can get this beautiful one added to the show car board. But you don't need to give that score until we've got this one fully finished a little bit later on. So let's crack on with that. Let's get this back on the lifter, get that engine built and painted, get all the suspension sorted, and start getting this beautiful, beautiful car all back together. That's everything painted on the beautiful Mazda RX-4, all ready to go back together. And we've got all the suspension in, and it is all looking beautiful. But let's jump in and check out this fantastic looking engine bay in here. As you can see, the wishy-washy reservoir is just underneath some of this paneling here, with the cap sticking out the top. The fuse box is underneath it on that side as well. If I jump there, you can just about see it there in a little black. We've got the brake servo just down there, tucked behind the engine. This is actually clipping through right next to the brake pedal inside the car, which I think is just a fantastic little addition. On this side, we got the coolant reservoir, obviously just tucked in underneath that panel. And then on the other side, if we just jump down into here, we've got the battery and the ECU underneath the panels on the other side. The battery's looking good, just mostly blacked out, orange lid on it, and then obviously 2 white bracket rods on there. Big Summit white radiator on the front with a black shroud, and obviously some orange fans on there, just for good measure, finishing it off. We jump into the suspension on the underside. We got the blacked out cross members, black shocks, and a black knuckle on there. Lots of orange bushings everywhere, and then obviously a little bit of white on the suspension arms there, on the tie rod and the front axle cover, and also on that sway bar. Looking very good. If we jump down the back, it's very similar. Black in the middle and orange and white on the outside, with all the connecting bits in the middle, all the connecting arms there in a beautiful little white, with all of our orange bolts that look absolutely fantastic. Loving this one. I cannot wait to get it finished. But before we do that, we need to go and build that beautiful Viper V10 engine to get this one dropped in. And it's already looking pretty awesome on the stand. The block is in that main orange, and it is looking beautiful. The heads are just blacked out, ever so slight difference between them, but you can't really notice it. And the oil pan is also in black. All the blacks on this build, apart from on the livery and at 1 or 2 places, are steel black from the Quality of Life mod, and the rest of them will just be a straight up matte black. But let's get on and get this engine all together. Let's talk about what's inside first. This beautiful V10. You've got 5 spark plugs on either side of the engine, obviously matching mirrored on the other side. And then you've got 10 rocker arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And underneath them, you've also got 10 valve push rods. So you're going to need 20 of them in total for this engine, and 10 spark plugs. Then your cam gear, which sits on your camshaft running through the middle there, and a timing chain on top of that. But let's get on and get the rest of this engine all finished. Timing cover on Yugo in black and orange. Just a few little orange accents on there, but obviously mostly in a big old black, looking very nice. The water pump is in a cheeky little orange on there. Liking that piece, it looks good. The crankshaft pulley is also in a cheeky little orange, and so is our oil filter. Round to the side, the power steering pump is in a black and orange, just keeping that wheel in the black, with everything else in orange on there. And for the alternator, just fully blacked out, apart from obviously the copper elements you can see underneath it. Our water pump pulley is just blacked out as per our normal pulleys go. But our idle rollers are in a cheeky little white on this one. And obviously all of these bolts connecting it all up, they will go orange once we drop it in the car. Nice little blacked out serpentine belt on there, and a cheeky little last idle roller just to finish it all off. Looking very, very nice. Let's get around and get these engine heads on, or engine head covers, should I say, which are just in that beautiful bright orange. And I think it's going to look fantastic when we get this in and all together, because there are a couple of covers on this which do look really good. But we'll get these ignition coils in, which are all just in a cheeky little steel black, as I've mentioned earlier. All looking very good. On you go, on you go. And then we'll crack on with that exhaust manifold. On you go there for the V10 Viper engine. power performance parts just in a cheeky little white. I think that looks beautiful just as a sly little white addition. So far, it's just the idle rollers and the exhaust manifolds. The only other white piece is this beautiful fuel rail, which is a cheeky little bit of white and black. If I just go like this, you see all of these little knobby bits are black on the end, apart from this one here, which is white, and it is exactly the same on the other side. I don't know what's causing it. Just one of those weird things. Oh, there is another white piece going on that I have forgot, and that's the ignition wires just on there. Let's nip around to the other side and get this side all up to the exact same space, and then we'll crack on. And that's all of this side up to the same spot. We've got a few more pieces left to go on this beautiful looking engine. And let's get it started with let's continue with the intake manifold. Now, this is the only part that could be performance part that isn't, and it is all based on looks. This is the normal intake manifold for the V10 Viper, because the performance one I couldn't get to go black with orange stripes. I could only get it to go the other way around, orange with the black stripes, and it didn't quite fit the rest of the film on the performance one. So the rest of the film, the rest of the video, the rest of the build, whatever you want to call it. So I took it out and went with the normal one because that one looks fantastic in that black and orange. You will see why once we get a few more pieces on, but let's get on with these throttles, which are just in a black and orange on there. Steel black and orange, looking absolutely fantastic. And then the last pieces to go on, swing around to the back, cheeky little fuel filter just blacked out down there. And then up here we've got our ignition coil covers, which are in the orange on the body, and then a slightly different tone orange for this plastic bit up here, and a steel black. But they're still looking absolutely fantastic, and that's why I wanted this black and orange, because you sort of get this black and orange. If that was all orange with black stripes, it doesn't quite look the same. Trust me, I did try it. But that's that beautiful V10 Viper engine all built. We've still got some cool stuff to go into this beautiful RX-4. So let's crack on and get the engine dropped into our Restomod. Almost done with the RX-4. Let's get this engine dropped into here and see how good it looks. And plus, we've got to finish off a few little bits, some little custom detail elements. That engine is looking fantastic in there. I genuinely love that. Orange, black, and white. The white is a little bit of an accent because it stands out so much. White, it looks so good in there, obviously matching up with that detailed livery. And then obviously we've got a little bit of white on the interior as well. But I think that is looking fantastic. We do have some stuff to go into the engine bay though. So let's get this all finished off. If we just come off of that mode a second, I just want to move a bit further forward. There we go. Go into the assembly mode and let's get all of this pipe work in. Yes, this is all connecting them air intakes at the front there on to the air intakes on the actual intake manifold. Got to make sure we get all the black parts in here because we do have some white bits and they are to go somewhere else. So we'll see all of them in just a little while, but let's get all of this in first. And then we can get to the underside, get the gearbox, the drive shaft and things in, and that cheeky little starter. But that's all the pipe work for the front there. You can see it all connects up to them air filters, and it is looking fantastic. When I say connects up to them air filters, it doesn't quite fully match up, as you can see just in there. It does go into it, but I had to hook it because the straight was too far to one side, if you see what I mean. I should have brought this out just a tiny little bit further, but you'll also see that that couldn't be done because... Oh, no, I wanted to go in photo mode. There we go. Couldn't be done because of where the pipe work goes in to the vent there. I wanted it roughly central. So we had to sort of keep it where it was, but it still looks good. And nonetheless, very happy with that engine bay layout. I think it looks beautiful, all tidied up. Custom pipe work. V10 engine in an RX-4. Looking beautiful. Oh, I forgot it was Easter, and we've got some Easter egg updates in the garage. Are they a bit late, or is that just me? Did I miss them before? I feel like I must have missed them before. We are past Easter. But anyway, let's crack on. And let's get the gearbox inside this beautiful car. Now, you are going to see all of the exhaust now, and there's nothing I can do about that. So we'll talk about it all in just a second. But let's get started with the gearbox in its black and orange. There you go. In there looking good. The starter in a cheeky little white just on there. And we'll get this drive shaft in. And then... we'll get this drive shaft in. There we go. And then we'll crack on with all of that fantastic looking exhaust. Just plain orange on the drive shaft for this one today. Hopefully it's going to look good from the underneath. But let's get on with all of this exhaust. All of these parts here are all hand placed, as you could possibly imagine. And we've got it all lined up for a beautiful Viper-inspired side exit exhaust. If we follow this all the way down to the end, let's keep going. One long piece of straight pipe in there. And then we got some slightly shorter pieces as we come round to the end. I cannot wait for you all to see this. It's going to look fantastic. Some of you eagle-eyed viewers may have spotted my little bit of livery just on the outside. If I just come out very briefly, we'll go around to this side. This is the one we've been working on. We've got a little black cutout on there ready for our exhaust to go into. So let's get it all in there. The tips themselves are a beautiful white-tipped dual pipe. But behind that, we've got a little bit of chrome black or metallic black sheathing just to keep it all in line. And honestly, from the outside, it looks absolutely fantastic. I definitely want to see this up close if I can get there. There we go. I think that looks beautiful. You got the cutout, you got a shroud on it, and then obviously the individual exhaust pipes in there as well. I think it looks beautiful, but what do you guys think? Do let me know in the comments below while we go and build up this other side. I'm going to crack on, get all of this done. Everything's in now. We've just got some wheels to do. And obviously, we've got to get the windows tinted and all the liquids topped up. So let's crack on with this very quickly. We'll check out all the car from the underside. And then we can go in and sort out what we're going to do with the window tinting. Because I do want to do a little bit on the tinting with some bodywork items, if it will let me. We'll just check out the run of this exhaust line. There it is, looking absolutely fantastic. And I've done a pretty good job of making nothing visible from the underneath. Just a little bit poking out the sides in the fenders there, as then it runs down the inside of the car and comes out through the exhaust tips just in front of them rear wheels. And it looks beautiful. I absolutely love it. Orange drive shaft down the middle, matching in with the two orange beams we've got running down there as well. And then lots of black and white just to finish it all off. Down you come, you beautiful car. Let's get on, let's close this hood, and let's do some window tinting. Now, as I've been doing recently, I'm not going to do the actual window tinting with you. I'm going to go in, get the windows tinted, and then we'll come and play with the lights. These are the bits I want to try and get rid of if I can, and also a couple of little bits on the front bumper. I say get rid of, just tone them down a little bit so they're not so in your face. So I'll crack on with this, and I'll see you in a second. Windows are all tinted. We'll check them out in a second. 60 for the front windows and 100 for the back ones. Pretty standard for me. But let's crack on. Front fenders. Can I just black you out a little bit? I don't want to go too dark. Right, let's go pretty dark. Let's go maybe up to 80, 70. 70. We'll go with 70 on there for the moment. We'll see how that looks once we take a trip from the outside right fender. Just want to make sure it does the same on there. Front bumper, we definitely, should we do 70? That's going to need to be a bit darker, so maybe that wants to be all the way up to 100. We'll go for 100 on that one, and then let's hopefully be able to do the back. I don't want to do the headlights. Don't want to do the tail lights. I like them as they are. Car part 2, I'm not worried. Let's just see if we can see what it changes. I can't see it changing anything. I don't want to change anything in there. And then it's all, so I can't do these rear fenders, which means I want to go back and take off these front fender pieces because I want them to be the same as the rear ones, which is just a bit of a shame that I couldn't get rid of them with rear ones. But there we go. It is what it is. We'll keep the front bumper blacked out. Just cleans up that front area just a little bit, in my opinion. Oh, and it's ruined. It's ruined the fenders now, so I need to try and get them a reset. But before we do that, let's jump in and see how good this tint is from the inside. Maybe still a little bit dark. I might go and make them just a tiny little bit lighter. We're not racing this one today. It is one of our show car builds. So I do need you guys to give this beautiful car a score out of 10. It's not quite finished. We've got some wheels to do yet, but we'll get them done. Then I want you to give me a score out of 10. I'm going to try and fix these reflectors. Then we'll get the liquids topped up. Moved on to sorting some beautiful wheels. Then we'll get this Mazda RX-4 outside in the sun. The front windows are now at 55, and I think they just look a little bit better. More visible to see out of them. But from the outside looking in, sure that's a song lyric somewhere, but anyway, from the outside looking in, it's not too over-tinted, and I did manage to fix them fenders nice and easily. But now, let's go and get our rims all sorted, and the rim we've gone for today is the Viper C rim. Looking absolutely fantastic. Good-looking rim, and we're going to go for a two-tone colour on this. I'm going to go for my custom matte white that I've been using, and I already know what we're going for. So we're going to go all the way up to steel black on this one, and then we're going to steel black and white, and we're going to see the colour options. We've got full white with the black logo in the centre. That does look very, very nice. Then we've got full black with the white logo in the centre, which looks fantastic and is what we are going for. We could have a white lip going around the outside with a black rim, or we could have a black lip running around the outside with a white rim. but the one I'm going for is the paint and material mix. Get this full steel black on there with that beautiful white logo in the center. That is 100% what we're going for. Let's get it painted. Let's get it attached to some tires and get these beautiful rims onto our V10 Viper Restomod RX-4. Just balancing this last wheel now, and then off we go. And let's get these beautiful rims onto the car and see how good this all looks together. For the rear rims, you're going to need a 16-inch rim with a wrong way around. 16-inch rim with a 275 width, 25 profile, and ET of 40 on there for these beautiful Viper rims at the back. And we've gone for a vintage white wall tire on there. I think it fits in with the theme, especially with that white sort of trim on it. For the front rims, still a 16-inch rim, but it's 205 width with a 25 profile, and ET of 70 needed at the front, much, much larger. And obviously those orange bolts just finishing it off. The triple tone on the wheels with the black, white, and orange in there. Let's get it back down on the ground. Double check this is all finished off, which it now should be. I still need to top up the liquids, which I will do in a second. But there we go. 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%. All well and truly finished. We need to get this beast onto the dyno. But before we do that, let's top the liquids up. Let's get this beautiful car outside in the sun. One last thing to go on our Viper V10 Restomod, and that is obviously our license plate. Off we come with our blank plate. Let's get our final plate on there, which is literally just an abbreviated Restomod because it fits the car so well. I think it looks absolutely beautiful, and it is definitely a Restomod. If we open up this bonnet, hood, whatever you want to call it, that engine and pipework in there is looking fantastic. Even if we then go down through to look at all the exhaust setup with them side exit exhausts, which I still think look beautiful. My favorite piece on this build has got to be them side exit exhausts. I absolutely love them. I think they turned out fantastic. But what do you all think? Give this car a score out of 10 in the comments so we can get it added to the show car board, and maybe, just maybe, onto this list of our top 4 out the front there. The Mazda being in the top place, the other Mazda being in the top place, then the Dodge, then the Moriani Bizzarini. I forgot what it was called then. And the Salem at GW 500. But there we go. I think this one is absolutely stunning. Lovely work of orange and black. I think it's beautiful. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. And also head over to the Red Dot Games Discord server and vote for your favourite RX-4 build. If it's mine, I'm very happy about that. If it's not, we just like to see custom cars. So it doesn't matter. But let's jump inside and get this V10 started and see what she sounds like in the RX-4. Well, that's not the sound I was anticipating. I'm not going to lie. Bit of a weird high-paced tick over on that one, but let's give it some gas and see. Definitely a better sounding at that top end. A little bit of over-rev on there. I'm assuming that's from the base config I used on this one, but regardless, still sounding pretty good. Let's get this beast onto the dyno, though. See what its horsepower is and what its drag rating will be. Let's get our Viper V10 Restomod Mazda RX-4 dynoed. 507 horsepower from that V10 engine from the factory. How much have we increased it by today? And what will its drag rating be? Let's have a look. A gain of 470 horsepower. So close to a whole new engine on top. Not far off at all. 93%. I'm happy with that. I would have liked it to have been a little bit more. In fact, I'd have liked to have got just over around about 1,000 horsepower. Very, very close. Not too far off. Only 23 horsepower away. So we can live with that. With a drag rating of 738. Would have been quite a good drag racer, I believe. Rear wheel drive might have been a bit too much power. We would have seen. I'm not taking it drag racing anyway. This is one of our show car builds. You know the drill by now. Now it is fully finished. Make sure to go down into the comments. Give this one a score out of 10 so we can get it added to the show car board. And while you're there, hit that join button below if you want access to this stunning Restomod config and livery for yourself. It is £2.99 a month. Become a member of the VM Garage Club, where I post all of my configs and liveries that we create, my custom ones, onto a lovely Discord page for our lovely channel members, where you can add this to your game yourself, have some fun with it, make it how you want to make it. That's what I'm talking about. So yes, if you can afford that, brilliant, and it definitely helps support me as a content creator too. But if you can't afford that, I totally get it. Just continue supporting me the way you do by watching the content and sharing and liking the content. But again, make sure you do leave a comment with the score out of 10 so we can get this one onto the show car board. But here is the gearbox tune, and we have gone for today a 3.33 ratio with 100 kilometers an hour in first gear up to reported 361. As you can tell, I haven't really tinkered with this at all, not really done much to it because we're not racing it, so we don't need to. This is just a car for show. It is for looking at, sitting on a podium, and occasionally driving just for fun. Definitely would drive this one if it was mine. I wouldn't race it, would just drive it. We have got a fully tuned Stage 3 ECU in this one as well, giving us an additional 16% tuning. And you know the drill by now. There is a link in this top right-hand corner to go and see the short of how to easily tune this one every time. It is also linked in the description below, along with a link where you can learn how to do the carburetor tuning as well. Not as easy as the ECU, but definitely easily doable. But there we go. That's enough of that. Let's get back outside, get ready to say goodbye to our beautiful Restomod RX-4 and see if we were to sell it, if we'd be able to make a little bit of money. Well, there she is, all finished. The beautiful Viper V10 Restomod Mazda RX-4. So many custom details on this one. Full custom engine bay, obviously slamming in that Viper V10 exhaust as well. Lots of custom accents and colours on this bodywork, painting some of the bits that shouldn't be painted. A beautiful custom livery, along with these custom exhaust tips and exits as well. Full custom interior in here, looking absolutely fantastic. Benches, seats, and that beautiful steering wheel. Lots more custom accents on that front end with all the colouring. Some beautiful custom Viper rims in a fantastic black and white colour. Summit radiator in there, and obviously the fully tidied up engine bay, looking absolutely fantastic. What do you think? Do make sure you do give me a score out of 10 in the comments below, and leave a cheeky little like if you have enjoyed this video as well. It's been fantastic. But let's talk some facts and figures about this beautiful Mazda RX-7. We bought the car for $29,584 and obviously could have sold it at a loss, but a small loss of $2,571, but we didn't do that. We spent a further $93,941 upgrading, tuning, modifying, customizing, and painting this beautiful RX-4 to how you see it here in front of you right now, putting our total spend at $123,525. Is there some money to be made from this beautiful car? Let's get in and let's take a look. Well, there she is, all 100%, almost brand new, 305,000 kilometers, but it kind of didn't have a Viper engine in it before. I mean, it did, but you know what I mean. Didn't have a Viper engine in it before. We fully resto-modded this one, tuned it, and made it look absolutely incredible, in my opinion. That Viper V10 from 507 to 977 horsepower, a gain of 93%. But it did cost us $123,525 in total to get here. So would there be some money to be made if we were to sell it? Yes. With a sale price of $200,474. If we were to sell it, it would leave us with a profit of $76,949, which is absolutely fantastic. Not that we're selling this one, not a chance. This one is definitely sticking around. I'm hoping it's going to end up in my top 4, but that is up to you guys at home. Again, one more time, leave me a score out of 10 in the comments below so we can get this beautiful RX-4 Restomod added to our fantastic show car board. Well, excellent work to Golly for this mod. Link in the description below to the base version of this mod. Obviously, this specific version, config, and livery is only available to my channel members. So click that join button below if you want access to this. Anyway, what have we got coming up next? Well, this is another McLaren F1, but this is a custom McLaren F1 and not made by me. This is another build by Barker, who made this one specifically for me, and as you can see, it's got twin turbos at the back with some air filter intakes as well, and also some custom exhaust pipe work on there. There is another pipe, there it is, I couldn't see it, it's on the other side. Some custom exhaust pipe work all going through, connecting all of that up. It's going to look fantastic, but I do need your help, because I want you guys to help me choose a colour or some colours, a couple of colours that we can do this wonderful build. I've been through the liveries and they're all race style, and I kind of want this to be a street style. So we won't be using a livery, but if you guys can give me some options for some colours, that would be Fantastic. Let's get in and have a look at this McLaren anyway. This is Barker's custom TT V12, which obviously stands for Twin Turbo V12, for the 1995 McLaren F1. He's made it available in the junkyard, auction, salon or barn, so you can literally get it from anywhere. And we got ours from the auction house, and it's pretty bad. Not terrible, but pretty bad nonetheless. The engine in it is the V12 double overhead cam MRN engine, currently pumping out 1,515 horsepower. By the time we've put performance parts on this, it's going to be a little bit wild, and we will be drag racing this wild bad boy. No matter how it turns out, how it ends up, where we end up on the speeder board, we will be drag racing this, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But did we get a good deal for it? No, not even remotely. 3,962,196 is what I paid, and I can sell it right now for 3,460,774, losing out on a little over $501,501,422 before we even begin. We have got our work cut out with this very, very, very customized McLaren F1. It is going to be absolutely awesome. So make sure you join us back here on Monday for this beautiful McLaren F1. As I said, let me know in the comments what sort of colors you think we should do for this beautiful McLaren. Give me 2 color options if you can. And if you don't want to do that, just hit a like on somebody else's comment so I can get an idea of what colors you guys would all want to see. What did you all think of the beautiful Mazda RX-4 V10 Viper Restomod? I think that one's absolutely fantastic, but I do need you guys to give me a score out of 10 so we can get it on the show car board. I know I said I'd the last time, but one more time, it's fine. Score out of 10 in the comments so we can get it to the show car board. And if you want access to that config and livery, hit the join button below and become a member of the BM Garage Club, as the current members on screen are. These guys are absolute legends. You definitely support me, and I very much appreciate you. I appreciate everyone that watches my content. So if you can't afford to become a member, or you just don't want to, which is totally fine, just continue supporting me the way you do, watching the content, liking the content. Make sure you are subscribed, and as always, leave me a cheeky little comment. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a beautiful day whatever it is you're getting up to, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Like and subscribe for Virtual Mechanic.